Hey everybody, Bonehead for the Bonehead podcast and welcome to Print to Pitch. This is our series where we have a look at everything 3D printed for Blood Bowl. Teams, star players, big guys, stadiums. If we can use it for Blood Bowl and we can 3D print it, we probably will have a look at it. Now, I'm so excited for this one. This is the second half of the Brutefun Squig / Goblin / Night Goblin team release. It can be used as a Goblin team, it can be used as a Night Goblin team from Fumble, and it can be used as a Squig team from Fumble. And it also has just the finest collection of individually brilliant sculpts I have ever seen in a single month release from Patreon. Anyway, let's have a look at month 2. Okay, so this is the point at which I'd normally go through my mini factory and say, hey, these are the models. Unfortunately, my mini factory is currently down. Did I need to download anything right now? No, it's fine. I've got more than enough to print, as we're about to find out. So we're going to do this old school with the use of pictures. So what we've got here is the final collection of some elements of the Brutefun team. So I'm just going to kind of highlight the pieces that have landed in part 2. But it's also not a bad way to show off all the bits that are available in between the two parts. So this month we've got the top Squig left-hand side, which is just a regular Squig. I'm gonna start saying the word Squig a lot. Then you've got this massive Squig in the center. Then you've got the Mangler Squig, which is a pair of two medium to large Squigs tied together with chain. They're basically just this wrecking ball of a ball and chain. It's a heck of a model, heck of a monster. Right, we've got the Squig Gobber here on the right-hand side, which is a gigantic Squig that spits out other Squigs across the pitch. So if you're using the Fumble Secret League Squig rules, I think we're going to have to drop a secret. Yeah, we'll drop a special Team Sunday, I think, this weekend about the Squig team because it's just so much fun. This is basically a long-range bombardier. And then, as it's a Squig team, it seems only appropriate that there's some Squigs. So these guys here are your Squig Hoppers. The one on the far left we've already seen. That was part of release 1. So this one, and this one are new for this month. This model in the middle, the kind of Squig captain, is just phenomenal. Now, I have spoken to Brutefun and I said, dude, give these guys swords and the Age of Sigmar guys will come in their droves. And he said, nope, these guys are for Blood Bowl. So for now, no swords on these guys, which means they are all for us. So the release has got one more Squig, a giant Squig, Squig Mangler, Squig Gobber, 3 more Pogo Squigs. We've got a Netter on the far left-hand side with kind of a Matador style cape. And then there was a couple more Goblin linemen in here as well. But wait, there's more. Part 2 also brings the second of what has to be considered 2 of the best trolls in Blood Bowl. So these are the Chuckum brothers, basically, as I'm naming them now. The 2 trolls. They are kind of Dankhold Troggoth style trolls. They've got the mushrooms. They're not a stone troll. They're not a river troll. Brutfun's already done those. This one here is the second troll. Now, there is an alternate sculpt that has a goblin. I've opted to go with the one without the goblin. I think it just makes it more flexible. It means you can use the troll in a Renegades team, in a Snotling team, and you don't have to worry too much about it. Now, there's a couple more pieces that have dropped this month. We've got 2 new Goblin linemen down here on the right-hand side. I'm assuming my body is blocking them. These 2 lads are also new. And this Pogo in the middle. So month 1 released one of the Squig Hoppers as the Pogo for the Goblin team. We've got a new Randy from South Park style Pogo Hopper for this one, and it is just a piece of work, a piece of art, very much like every other sculpt in this team. And I think this is the big shot of a lot of stuff, if not all of the Squig bits. There's so much in this release. I'm probably missing something out. And you know what? You'll just have to find it for yourself. But let's have a look at some of the models. Okay, now I was going to show off the STLs because this set is fully pre-supported. But I realized that actually I tidied up my hard drive recently and I don't have them on here. And with my mini factory being down, I can't download them quickly to kind of show them off. So I figured, you know what, we'll just cut straight to the models themselves this time, because actually the finished results are, I think, a pretty good demonstration. So we're going to start off with one of the linemen here. Now, all of these linemen, and there are many of them in this team, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different lineman sculpts, 2 netter sculpts that can be used for linemen. Oh, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, okay. Are just some of my most, they're just some of the most fun sculpts available, I think, especially for goblins. So anytime you're looking for a goblin, you should come here. Anytime you're looking for a goblin team, you should come here. Anytime you're looking for a test model to use, for example, if you wanted to try out the new Speed Paint 2.0, then actually these guys here are probably the best models to come from. Anyway, so this guy here, you've got all the kind of detail you expect, but this is a Night Goblin themed team. So you've got the hoods, you've got that kind of classic goblin look. And the thing I really love about these is you can just about see on here, they've got these little jingle bell bells on the end of their noddy hats, and that just makes me so happy. If you're not from England, you may not know what noddy is. It's a cartoon show. No, not a cartoon show, a children's show. Stop motion, I guess, back in the day. Anyway, he's got a little bell on his hat, and he's a little guy called Noddy. Anyway, these guys have got little noddy bells on their hats, and that's wicked. You've got some cool mushrooms and stuff like that. And I suppose it is time for the scale test. So this is a strength 2 goblin, and we've got our size piece here, our strength 3 nobility thrower. Goblin sized. Right. Perfect goblin size. Now what we're going to do is we are going to chuck this gentleman on the spinny plate over here. And in a moment, we'll come back to the spinny plate. So we've got a squig. So this is one of the 2 squigs for the set. If you're picking up month 2, this is the only line squig that you will get, this one. I do have the other one, however. So if you're running squigs in a squig team, for example, or squigs in a Night Goblin team, you're going to need these guys. If not, honestly, just get squigs. Squigs are amazing fun to paint. Now, size-wise, these are strength 4. And I think Brutefun scaled them down from the original size, which I think was absolutely bang on the money. So this guy here is on a 32mm base, and from a top-down point of view, from a side point of view, he is big enough and menacing enough that he fits the description of Strength 4 and of Squig. And you know what? We're going to chuck him on the spinning plate too, and we'll come back to that. Next up, we've got the Pogo Goblin. And this is the updated Pogo Goblin. This is the, like I said, Randy from South Park Squig, and he is bouncing around on what is just a big gelatinous frog style squig, and it's brilliant. So this model here is perfect for you running a pogo in your goblin team, or as a squig hopper, or as anything else you want. It's just a really fun model, and again, you can see all that kind of classic Night Goblin stuff. You've got more fungus, more shrooms, more noddy bells. It's just perfect. Now, goblins, strength 2. This guy does have a squig, but actually, even though he's got a squig, his size lines up perfectly. And you, sir, go on the spinny plate. There we go. Right. What else are we going to look at now? I think we look at some of the best models I think Brutefun has ever done. And it is the lowly Squig Hoppers. Now, there's a couple of really cool things about this. One, any one of these Squig Hoppers can be used as a pogo for a goblin team. Oh, there's a couple of supports I've not cleaned up very well. So that's cool. They are big enough to be strength 4. I love these models. They're such good fun. Now, Brutefun's absolutely nailed the goblin aesthetic, the Night Goblin aesthetic, especially when it comes to like Squig Knights. They've got this kind of labyrinth style goblin helmet. Like they just look regal. There's a ton of motion in there. Then we got the second of 4. 3 for this release. This one looks like he's hopping in the air, catching again. You've got another great goblin knight helm, which is perfect. Another great squig face. Just proper classic Night Goblin gear here, with a little bit of the new age of Sigmar twist, which I'm a big fan of. So you've got those two bits, and the fact is you can use them for your pogo in any goblin. You've got Scrapper Sawhead now, which is a star player on a pogo, who is perfect for this. And you've got to assume at some point they're going to bring back Madcap Miggs, who was a Squig Hopper in Blood Bowl. So at some point you are going to need one of these guys to be your star player. No, in Brutefun, he'll especially sculpt. Now this one is my favourite model of the entire set, and sadly, because I've done this guy in white, you can't quite see the detail on the face. Hopefully you can, and it is just awesome. Tons of character in the Squig, great positioning, great posing, great pointing, and the face and the kind of long-nosed goblin mask is perfect. It really captures the kind of modern take on night goblins, and I absolutely love it. So I've been putting all these guys on the spinny plate over on the left hand side because I wanted to show off the size as you are side on, because their models are just so lovely that I just wanted to get another shot of them. So we've got our human thrower there, bit of camera lag, apologies for that, and you can see that these guys are just spinning around. You can see the detail for all of these models as we go. I flipping love these guys. Absolutely so much fun in all of this team. And alright, even though this guy is my favourite of the set, these are the least exciting models from this release. Let's move on to some of the chonkers. So this is the giant cave squig, and if you're using him in the fumble team, he will represent the player known as the giant cave squig. And basically the sculpt is that of a giant cave squig. So this dude is on a 40mm base, and he is monstrous. If you are a fan of 40k orcs, night goblins from fantasy, loony moony boys from Age of Sigmar, you gotta love squigs. And this is just one of, if not the best squig model I have ever seen? Question mark? I don't know. There's a couple more models coming up that might challenge that. Anyway, what could you use this guy in Blood Bowl? So you use him as your giant cave squig in the fumble team, and then quite frankly, you use him for anything you want. Anything that's strength 5 that kind of is dangerous, this guy would make an absolutely brilliant monster with animal savagery. So if you're kind of, I don't know, you could do all sorts with this. Could be fun for a renegades team, because he's got the big old gob, he's got the big old mouth, he's got prehensile tail. I can see that happening. You know, you could use him as a rat ogre. You could, I don't know. That's the beautiful thing here is you can, oh, do you know what? You put this guy with the savage orc team, run him as corn. This is your blood spawn. That is perfect. That is absolutely perfect. There you go. Definitely. Anyway, he is a big old boy. And if we put him next to our human thrower, you can almost hear the Jurassic Park music. And that makes me very happy as a child of the 80s. Anyway, my little lad, with all your little detail, all your gribbly bits in your teeth, all your armor plates, you're going on the spinny plate. And I think we'll do a one-on-one for this guy on the spinny plate up against, so that look at that. So you can see the size and might of this guy. It's just such a fun model. Absolutely brilliant. Right, anyway, let's grab the next squig model, which is going to be the Mangler Squig. So the Mangler Squig is formed of two squigs chained together, and you've got to assume like slapped about until they are enraged and then unleashed. So as far as the fumble squig team works, this is a ball and chain that doesn't have secret weapon, and it flies around causing absolute chaos and carnage. If you're an Age of Sigmar player, the Mangler Squig will be familiar to you because it is very similar in design. This is actually two squig models, so when you get the STLs or when you buy the prints from us, you have to glue them together. And then you got to glue the tongue in, although you need to do a better job than I did. Oops. Anyway, just look at the dynamism. So this guy here is trampling on this guy here, and they are flailing against each other, and this is just beautiful. Now, I believe this is the intended scale, but there's no reason you can't scale this up and use it for Age of Sigmar, use it for something else. But quite frankly, what you need to be doing with all of these, if you've got the STLs or if you're coming to us from the shop, is running them as a Squig team. The Mangler is just a mighty positional. Now, these Squigs are smaller than the giant cave Squig, but bigger than the Squig Hoppers because they are a just, you know, terrifying mess of teeth and flailing bits. And if we put them side by side, you can see that actually stacked together, they have got way more height than the human thrower and way more mass. But actually, the model's been really well designed to kind of stay in its lane. So if you kind of apply the square or cylinder philosophy, it's not too bad. And I do like to bust out the ogre every now and again. So he's taller than an ogre and just meatier. So Squig Hopper, let's put you on the wheel of Spinny Toothy Doom, because you can get kind of an idea of the size. I love the side camera. It is so good. Right, we've got the Squig spinning around here, and you can see all the beautiful detail and just the mass of the model as our poor victim Imperial Nobility boy spins around with them. Fantastic. But wait, there's more. And there's more in the way of one more gigantic Squig. Now, I forgot about this model, and I ended up using him as a tester to compare. What did I use for this? I think this is Blood Angels Red contrast, because I was like, wow, what's going to be a good red? You've got Army Painter Speed Paint, and you've got Blood Angels Red. I was like, which is going to be the most squiggly paint scheme? Anyway, this guy is therefore gigantically bright and red. He is massive. He's gobbing some squigs, and I think there's a human helmet in there as well, just for detail, which is just phenomenal. So I have actually contrasted this one so you can see all the details. You can see the goop with the squigs in, all the little legs flailing around, the little claws, this guy here underneath his gullet, and it is just a brilliantly characterful model. And it's brilliant. So it's on a 40mm base, and you've got everything you need. And the really funny thing is, when you compare this to a human model, it is absolutely gigantic, and it is such a cool model. The whole team has just been so well executed. You've got some unique positionals and some brilliant sculpts that really bring them alive. We've played tons of Secret League, whether it's on Fumble or on Tabletop, and I've always wanted a Squig team. I've always dreamed of having a really good Squig team, and now we've got a tier 1 Secret League model base, and it's so good. Even the Squig Gobber, who is a long-range bombardier of squigs, is just beautifully represented. But it's a goblin team, and a goblin team would not be complete without a troll, or in this case, a couple of different ones. Well, it's one troll with several different sculpts. So we've got this troll here, who does come with a goblin in his hands as well. He's got 2 different heads, no helmet, and the guard helmet. Now, this troll matches up perfectly to the troll in the first release. You've got the same design aesthetic. You kind of got that Dankhold Troggoth mushroom troll with the stalagmites and stalactites. And honestly, these models are just phenomenal, because you can look and you can see more and more detail as you go. You've got a helmet there just nestled in there. You've got all the straps. You've got the weird kind of side mushrooms. You've got the balls stuck to the front there. You've got bits of rope. You've got bits of armor. You've got dangly bits from his ears. These trolls are some of my favorite trolls in Blood Bowl. Now, size-wise, they are a good size without being massive, which is awesome and really useful. So you put him against a strength 3 dude. This dude is big. He is really big, but sits very well within the 40mm scope of his base. So we'll chuck those boys onto the spinning plate as well, along with our thrower man, just so you can kind of get a good view of how big they are. So they are big, they stand out beautifully, but they don't dwarf everything and they don't get in the way. That is, in my opinion, the perfect size for Blood Bowl. Or if you've got the STLs, you could scale it up. So I couldn't resist, because he's a big old giant. So I scaled this, and I think this is only to 150% scale, and I just flipping couldn't resist. So ordinary troll is this big. I scaled mine up because I was like, ooh, Dankhold Troggoth here for some goblins, and I did it. And even at 150% scale, yeah, the ball's a little bit out of scale there. This is on a 60mm base, so this becomes perfect for a goblin team troll. For any kind of Badlands brawls or Underworld challenge troll that needs a giant, team that needs a giant, This is perfect. Both of these trolls are excellent for this. And I don't upscale stuff enough, which is amusing because that is a very Ben thing for me to do. But I haven't until now. And you know what? Absolutely love it. It is a brute of a mini. A lot of fun. Got to assume that's where Brutefun gets his name. Okay, I'm going to stop gushing about these models now. And this is all legit. I wanted a Squig team for ages, and then Brutefun comes along, and over the course of a few months, drops everything you could want. We've got great alternatives for a Goblin team. From top to bottom, you've got brilliant linemen, you've got full suite of positionals. I think there's actually 2 different fanatics, which are goblins swinging a Squig around on a chain. You've got 4 Squig Hoppers that you can use as a pogoer, and the kind of beanbag bouncing guy as well. So 5 alternatives for a pogo, 2 beautiful trolls, and just a smorgasbord of gigantic Squig models that you just need, and I don't know why. Well, I do know why. It's to play the Secret League team because it's a ton of fun. But these models are genuinely not to be missed, I think is probably the best way to say it. If there's something you're looking for to print that's fun, if there's something you're looking for to paint that's fun, get this. Just, it's so good. If you don't have access to a 3D printer, jump on our site. If you want a Goblin team, you can get the Goblin set up. If you want the Squig team, you can have the Squig team set up. If you want the whole lot, you can get the whole lot. And every one of these models is going to be so much fun to paint. And your finished horde of goblins and squigs is going to give you that rush of being a goblin general in Warhammer Fantasy Battle, from being a loon boss in Age of Sigmar, without the misery of having to play those games. And I don't know, it genuinely doesn't get any better than that. Anyway, I'm going to wrap up now and go paint squigs. Thanks very much for watching. We'll be back soon with more Bible content. Happy boinging. Thanks very much for watching. We really appreciate your support. If you want to support the channel even further, please like and subscribe. It really does help us out. Or come join us on YouTube members or in Patreon, where you can get exclusive access to some content, some loot, early access to basically everything we do, as well as regular competitions. Or you can pick up some Bonehead Podcast loot either on our website at boneheadpodcast.com. We've got the Dungeon Bowl things, we've got tokens and stuff like that, or on our Spreadshirt site as well. Everything you do just helps us make more content and hopefully do it of better quality. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Happy blocking.